Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That. Today I'm going to take a look at the Masters of the WWE Universe Undertaker action figure. For the most part, I don't really collect this line of figures, but I'm a big fan of the Masters of the Universe character Scareglow, and since the original figure and the Masters of the Universe Classics Scareglow are both really expensive, I thought I'd take this opportunity to have a Scareglow-like action figure for around $15. This figure of the professional wrestler, The Undertaker, has the torso and arms that look pretty similar to Scareglow, with the addition of black hands making it look like he's wearing gloves. I think this figure is really cool, and I like the packaging as well. You'll notice here the Masters of the WW Universe is what the logo says, but I see it referred to as WWE Universe all the time. The Undertaker, according to this, is a dead man walking. Taking a look at the back of the package here, there's a really cool piece of Undertaker art on the back, and there are a couple of images here that show that if you place the figure under a light, he will then glow in the dark. There are also 3 other figures from this wave of the Masters of the WWE Universe. For the most part, as I said before, I'm not really a collector of this line, so this is the main figure that I had wanted for the entire series. I'm going to take him out of the package, but before I do, I'm going to mention inside there is, they call it a comic book. It's really only a 4-page sort of fold out, but I'm going to open the package carefully because I do want to keep the comic book inside in good shape. The package itself is pretty beat up, but this is the only one of this figure that I've ever seen in the store, so I was happy to pick it up even with the damaged package because I knew I would be opening this figure anyway. So I'm going to take this off camera to open it so that I can be a little bit more careful than I can reaching around the camera. We'll take a look at the insert right here, comic book as they call it. I've seen several of these taped to the inside of the package. This one wasn't taped, it was just loose in there, and I was able to get it out without damaging it at all. We've got a piece of artwork of The Undertaker here on the left, and then a little bit of a comic book on the right, and when you close it, you've got the 4 characters from this wave of the line. It's not that much of a comic book, but it's still a neat little thing to include along with the figure. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. These figures are made basically like the Masters of the Universe origin figures, and from what I've seen, you can take the heads off, you can take the torso off of the lower half of the body, and you can swap out the different body parts with other figures. I'm going to leave this guy together as he is, but I do want to point out that there's a lot of articulation on this figure. He moves at the shoulders, he moves both up and down, and swivels at the elbow, and his wrists pivot and swivel. He's got articulation here and also at the top of the legs, and at the knees they swivel and they also move back and forth, and the ankles also pivot and swivel. So these figures are much more articulated than the original vintage 1980s Masters of the Universe and wrestling figures. But one of my favorite things about this figure is that he glows in the dark. I'm a sucker for glow-in-the-dark figures. And he also has a paint scheme that is pretty similar to the paint on the vintage Scareglow action figure. So I'm going to set him down and take a look at his accessories. First off, he comes with a battle axe or halberd that is similar to the one that came with the original Scareglow action figure, but this one is molded in purple, which would be more of a Skeletor color scheme, and it's also already kind of bent. It's sort of a flexible material. Hopefully I can straighten it out a little bit, but I'm going to put this in his hand and see how that looks with the figure holding it. It is really rubbery. Looks like he holds it pretty well. Again, it's already pretty bent. It was bent in the package, and so it's sort of taken on that bent shape. but hopefully I can straighten it out a little bit. He also comes with a harness. I'm assuming that this is the harness that they're going to use on the Triclops Masters of the Universe Origins figure. It looks very similar to the harness that Triclops wore in the vintage figure line, with the addition of 3 knives on the back and what looks like a place for the sword as well. You can put the halberd in there, but I don't know that it fits very well. It just kind of flops around. And in order to put the piece on the figure, I'm assuming you would have to pop the head off, because it doesn't look like it would really go on over his hair very well. So I'm going to see how easy it is to take the head off. Very easy, actually. And put this thing on. It attaches on the back with a little pin that goes through that hole. It's hard to do this on the other side of a camera. All right, there we go. And popping the head back on. I'm going to do this off camera. Actually, it's kind of tricky to do. There you have it. There is the Undertaker crossed with Scareglow wearing Triclops armor. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this Undertaker action figure, and what do you think of the Masters of the WWE Universe line in general? Also, please give this video a like, share it on social media, and if you enjoy the content on my channel, please subscribe. One last thing before I go, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.